Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is Hearts of Wulin, Numberless Secrets. This is the second session of our Legend of Bad Valley mystery. Last time, Bao Shi was very forcefully dragged to Bad Valley, and Bao Shi behaved with grace and aplomb to find out that the person who had kidnapped them is in fact uh, uh, a teenager. They're they're an older teenager and pretending to be older than that. They are the child of the former leader of Bad Valley, Wheelwright Tantai, and Gracious Wasp, uh, who's at this point the de facto leader in the absence of Wheelwright, wants to find out who killed their parent and you know, get things done before things go badly. There are three families that you've learned of here in Bad Valley: the Rue clan, the Chao clan, and the June family. The June family being the one that you had some interactions with before. They each have their own special arts and focuses, and you met the leaders of each of those families. You also saw the skeleton that is supposed to be Wheelwright Tantai. Whether it's in fact their skeleton is still a question. You also crossed paths with a former colleague of Chao Lin named Ru Nian. And he is a physician, a doctor, and he has promised the next day to give you the antidote for the poison that they have given you and not told you about. And that is the basics of where we left off last time. Does that seem like a reasonable summary of that?
Yeah, Lowell, can I ask you a question about the families real quick?
Sure.
Is there some cultural or specific difference between like the two of them calling themselves clans and the other one a family?
The family is kind of a more subordinate name in some ways. And you know that they were associated again with the Verdant Sword School, and so there may be something about how that's tied up in that. Uh, Clan is definitely more kind of clan, school, family, has perhaps a more sophisticated sound to it too. So there
Okay,
may be something of that going on there.
cool, thank you.
So also, we'll point out that in the wind, Song Da has sent out a message and has arranged to hopefully meet up with somebody outside of Bad Valley later on this day. But we take up with you all finding yourselves there at one of these places because this is a working village, sort of the area outside of that island. There is and the sort of lake that's built. There is a village of people, but smugglers, scum, but farmers as well. And someone was doing the usual Burke Barch pitch boiling to use that to seal things, and that great big vat of it is still bubbling away, and you will recognize the legs of Chao Wu Ji. And, uh, people are kind of standing there stunned here. It looks like you four are like the most authoritative here. None of the members of any of the clans or families or even Gracious Wasp is here at this moment. What do you want to do?
Oh dear, we seem to have found ourselves in a sticky situation.
Everyone looks at you.
I mean, never mind.
There's a person who's clearly like a foreman or a headman who's like, do Perhaps he's still alive. And
Oh, I think
he shouts,
not.
and a couple of people go to start to yank the body out of the the pitch there.
Uh,
Um,
that's likely to go badly, isn't it? Um, do we have something that, how should we say, uh, that we can wrap the body in as it comes out? Then,
uh,
I suppose,
like a tarpon or something.
yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah. They will be reluctant to give up a valuable tarpon, but they will be provided. They will.
I assume that there's one that would go over the tar in the sort of off time, so we would just use that.
Okay.
So there's not going to be.
They will yank his body out of there, pull him up. The body comes out with a releases with a sucking sound when the last of it kind of pops out. And uh, you know, the it's basically covered with an oil slick of sticky black tar, and you will put the body there onto that tarp.
Did anyone see anything leading up to this? Surely someone would have noticed. As I look around these people, I mean,
Everyone's quiet, and you look, and the foreman finally kind of says, like, because they're actually clearly now like actually terrified. Once they've pulled him out, they realize who it is, and the foreman will say, uh, "Honorable sirs, the 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 fire is set and left to at low overnight. Uh, uh, eh, when we came in the morning to check it, we found him like that. Uh, uh, and another person will step forward and they'll say, I do the night watch, and I believe that I was the last person to come around, and uh, essentially says, I came by here at second bell, like 2 in the morning, and there was nothing untoward here.
see. And
Some
then you discovered this here just moments before we arrived.
when we came to begin the work, the foreman says, uh, we found the body, and it is a little. It's not immediately in sight from the street. You kind of have to walk around into like an open area of the workshop building. Uh, so it wouldn't be unusual for no one to see anything if anyone was up earlier. Songda, what do you want to do?
Um, I suppose I'd like to look over what I can of
Sure.
the body as they're pulling it out and getting ready
Tell me,
to cover it up.
who are you?
I'm the guard, the nameless muscles of the
Ah, you're still nameless muscles today.
intimidating and
Okay.
dark.
All right.
Yes. I have since we're not in traveling clothes, I can wear my true bodyguard's outfit, which is sort of rough spun, some sort of animal hair thing. I'm assuming some diseased yak by the feel of it. It is a very like deep crimson, barely distinguishable from black, and he keeps looking down, worried about how brightly he's dressed. All this color is really upsetting him. He has to keep his identity hidden, so he does have a like cloth mask across the lower half of his face, and then he felt like he could recognize himself too much, so he also has an eye patch tied like around his head and across one eye, and then he was really sort of getting into his character backstory at that point, so he also has a fake scar going down the other eye. um, it's all just very unnecessary. Oh, and because he is a large and intimidating bodyguard, he convinced someone to let him carry a sword, and it's mostly not throwing him off balance when he goes around corners.
What do you want to roll study with?
Let's see. Uh, I think water as he gets close to the body and is sort of like looking over the clothes and details. He does pull out his very fancy shiny gold like 1/2 glasses on a shiny golden chain and put it up to his eye because he does see it needed to see like fine, but and he hasn't quite thought about how it doesn't match with the outfit.
Have you roll?
Oh no, I didn't tell it my name.
So
An 8.
an 8. So you have one hold as well. Sorry, yeah, one hold. Uh, uh, and unless you want to pay a cost, and your free question from study.
A free question from study, looking at his
That's
clothes
okay.
here.
All right.
Um, does it look like he dressed or set himself with any intention to walk into a room with lots of hot bubbling tar and you could step in things that would be dangerous? Or is he like wearing something totally unsuited to walking around in some, a place like this, that sort of thing?
Now he definitely has clothing of he was out and about when this happened. I think that like he's not wearing his night clothes. Neither is he though like armored up or anything like that.
Gotcha.
And what do you want to do with the second half of that? You've gotten your free study.
Um, I assume we came in through like main doors, front doors, sort of
Yeah,
things to
so
this
essentially
area.
you're out in a courtyard. You came in through like a gap between the building that they would have walked things in, like carts or things.
Um, is there any other way out, like smaller back door, less conspicuous sort of thing?
It would be pretty easy for someone with lightness to go over these buildings. And the workshops themselves, like you will notice this. I think this is the first time you've noticed this. Nothing here has locks on it. There are no
Hmm,
locks on the doors. There are no locks on the windows. So it looks like people can come and go, could have easily come and go in through here as they pleased. Does that seem like a fair answer?
yeah, I think as the others are looking around here and talking to people, he will wander outside and very just casually make a leap up several stories to the top of this building, and he's standing there on the very tallest peak, wind blowing, the like scarves tied around his head. But he's looking around and sort of just mentally judging, like,
Yeah,
okay, if I went this way, I could jump from there to there to there, and like just looking at paths up here.
sure. And I think probably the hardest point is probably that maybe there's a like a fire watch tower that's right by there that you would jump up onto.
Nice.
And you will definitely see that there's some of the like actual like family and clan people coming this way, follow up on this, all this noise and harumphing. Chao Lin, what do you want to do?
I want to look around the area for any, I don't know, blood or anything interesting.
Sure. Let's have you make a study roll for me. What do you want to make that with? Did you freeze, Ethan?
It does appear so,
Does
yes.
appear so. It's like Zoom knows that someone is about to undertake an action or roll or
they
something
they
of that.
they did just look so considering and just like I am almost there. Like
Uh,
it's on the tip of my tongue.
let's give them a moment. Probably get that drop and come back. There we go. There's the drop. We'll give them a second to see if it's just to pop back up or if it's going to be a Windows update. Let's go to Bao Shi and we'll come back to Ethan when they come back, and then we'll go to Zhenai. Bao Shi, what is it that you want to do?
You say that this is kind of off the beaten track, so that it would have
So,
been a
so
little hidden.
there's a village. It kind of runs along the canyon wall, kind of away from the island where the main clan families and things are. And by off the beaten path, I mean that the building itself is a workshop with a courtyard in the center.
Mhm.
And from the street, you can't really see into the courtyard.
Okay.
And the thing was in the middle of it. So anyone walking past, the night watchman took a peek because there was a fire going, and he's called on to do that. But otherwise, uh, it definitely kind of slightly out of the view of people commonly.
Okay. Uh, I know that there's probably been some trading going on, but I'm going to go to the entryway to the workshop, which seems the most likely way that they would have come into this building at the courtyard. And I'm going to try and give a look on that street area, the frontage of the building. Primarily, I'm sort of wondering if I see signs of a struggle that would have taken place or something that might have been dropped as they were coming in or something like that.
Sure. Let's have you roll study, and then we'll come back to Chao Lin.
All right. This is going to be, okay. Feel like I always go for it, but it seems like, well, I guess it's more water than metal. I think it's
Okay.
water. All right. Oof, that
Uh,
is a 7.
that's a 7. So you have one hold or two hold at a cost.
Wow. It's a cost. I'll take a cost and get a clue.
All right. I think that uh, you will see approaching Nighthawk Jun,
Mhm.
uh, and you see him stop when he sees you there, and he turns to these two young women who are with him, each of them wearing half masks. Uh, and you see him very, without subtlety, gesture at you, and then has a conversation with them. And then they bow and go off in different directions. And you would like a
Hmm.
clue, huh?
Yeah.
Um, you will see that inside one of the buildings, uh, it looks like maybe there was some kind of struggle, maybe not a big one, but enough that it kind of uh, uh, seems to have knocked some things around. Uh, uh, like the wood pile, some things have fallen there. And you kind of look at it and you're like, it's not how someone would have left it that in the night, but it's not a big thing. It would have made a huge amount of noise. But as you are looking, you will catch a glint of metal, and you will move aside some of these things, some of these pieces of wood, and you will see peeking out from the edge of a tight-fitting bag is as you kind of pull it out, is a beautiful, beautiful compass. One of those elaborate kind of geometric compasses. And when I say beautiful, I mean you know good quality that you are Bao Shi. And this is the kind of object that would be fit for an emperor.
Oh, okay.
It's delicate, and so it has taken some hits from the wood that fell on it.
Certainly not something that would normally be here.
No, that is very true.
All right, I will carefully wrap it in the bag that it is in and put it up one of my sleeves
Okay.
until time for further study on it.
All of your characters have sleeves so they can put stuff up.
Yes.
Let me come back to Chao Lin, and then we'll come to Zhenai. Chao Lin, you said you were kind of checking around the
Yeah.
area.
Yes. Before my internet died. Try that roll again. There we go. 7.
So 7. So that is a study question, or
Yes.
what would that be, or a declaration?
Let's see. Are any of the people here like some? No, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm walking back like toward the victim's house, kind of going on the assumption that like he
Back.
sort of went that direction.
Okay.
And looking for anything strange along the way, or like places someone could have hidden and ambushed him. So yeah.
I think what one of the things you'd be able to tell is he must have come here. There's a fairly open track between these houses and the walk over to the bridges to the thing. There's not a lot of good ambush points there, so there's more of them on the other side of the water on the island. So if he had been killed, someone would have had to brought the body all the way across. So it does suggest to you that he came here. This is an unusual enough place. You kind of look around at the area. It is workshops and things where people wouldn't be at night.
Okay.
Because there are more shops that people live in and houses and things a ways away. So if you were trying to meet with someone discreetly, this would be a reasonable place.
Okay.
That seemed like a decent answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Lost Song Zhenai.
Um, well, uh, I think that you will see Lost Song Zhenai take out her sword. It's different than the one she carried when she was acting as her great uncle, Blue Mountain Scholar. But it's actually designed much the same. It is the same sort of sword, but it's more where his was, you say, clearly a renowned weapon with a sort of ornate, everything about it. It was made as much for presentation as anything, but it was also a tool. hers is very simple, but you have that same tooling. Essentially, that blade is flexible, and it has all along it like sets of measurements
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, and it has a set of, what do you say, if you've trained yourself, you can use it to tell you things like how long has a body been dead and things like that, if that
Sure.
makes any sense. And that is the training that she has. So I think that what it is that she is the one that she will look over the body,
Okay.
if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
So I will make
Wulin?
a study.
Yes.
I am using my sword for that, but I mean that's not that gives me any bonus or anything. I let me think. So in it is so weird when I come back to these characters. I remember everything about them except for their stats. Okay. Yeah, so I guess since he was in pitch bark, birch bark tar, I will use wood as the
Okay.
element. So I'm rolling and adding 1.
Okay.
So it's a 9.
And it's a 9 unless you want to spend a bond. Oh, you don't
No,
have any bonds.
I do not have any. That is, for some reason, we didn't. Anyway, yes. Not yet.
So that is a study question or
Mhm.
to hold if you want to pay a cost.
A study question. So that's a question, right?
Yeah, or a
Okay.
declaration.
Oh, or a declaration. And let's see, I have this one move, so I want to see. I'm using a study to uncover even the disappearance. Okay. I think right now we don't know that much.
Okay.
So I am literally I think that the question that has to be asked is of course he's dead now, but how was he killed? Was it by submerging him or was he killed in some other way? What was the wound or the method?
I think that it will take a bit. You have to use the sword to kind of move some things around. Uh, 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 but like even though the birch bark tar kind of does conceal the manner of his death, you will eventually find that there is a blade wound that seems to be higher up on the back, and certainly was struck, you would say, with a shorter blade, a knife rather than a full sword. But most people carry long knives as well. So
downward or upward?
more straight on.
All right. Can I ask one other question?
Why would you get to ask one other
Well,
question?
it's about the blade cut itself. Could it have been a thing that it was pushed onto, or does it have that look of actually like pushed in and like?
Yes, it certainly could have been that he was pushed onto the blade.
All right.
I think as you are all kind of doing this investigation, moving around, Bao Shi, you're out there looking Chao Lin, there is this gathering, and you will see Wasp approaching. And I think that all of you had enough time to interact with them yesterday. I think now you're seeing them out in the full daylight, and you realize how much they have carefully managed their dress and appearance to make themselves seem taller, make themselves seem older, and carry that image. There is a you will see the leader of one of the leaders of the Rue clan coming. You will see Nighthawk Jun is there. And you will see a couple of people you don't recognize, but they bear the same marker of the Shao clan. Tell me, uh, 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 Patrick, what is the symbol of the Shao clan? They use that black magic blade that we talked about.
Um, I think it's the outline of a flower, something that's sort of like droops over and has a downward tilt to it.
And you will see uh, the wasp has come up, has seen who it is, and kind of turns to the people that are clearly of that clan. You'll see a woman, long dark hair, who's standing there, kind of with an absolute air of calm on her face. And then there is a woman with white hair who is sort of clutching the arm of a young man. Uh, and that is Chao Fu Ya, uh, and then Chao Dagu, and Chao Dagu's wife, Blossom Devouring Guardian. And you will see Chao Dagu sees who it is, and the reaction from him is like that, like a defeated kind of exhale of air. And you'll notice his wife catches that and kind of pushes him to straighten up. And Wasp will say, uh, uh, detectives who I brought in and arrived last night and who should be, and she gestures to everyone who is here, treated with full respect and deference and lack of murder. Tell me, what is it that you have discovered here? Is this Chao Wu Ji?
And you'll see me nod to Bao Shi. I always act as if I am the assistant to Bao Shi in these situations.
It is indeed, yes.
And Wasp will turn to the young man. Dagu, you are the heir to your family. Uh, you should return back to your house with your sister and wife and call together your clansmen. I will see to it that the body is properly taken care of, but you should go for now. And they will withdraw. Not a lot of reacting, not a lot of grief from them as they go away. Of the three, the one who gives all of you the most like eye of interest of trying to scan all of you is Blossom Devouring Guardian. You definitely see her eye you, Chao Lin, and then do that appraising, look you up and down, and then turn back before they head away. And Wasp will turn to the people who are around the foreman and will say, "You'll be recompensed for your labor and work for the day. Coffers will be opened. You'll be paid. Give your men the day off. This area is off limits for the day." And they're clearly kind of, okay. They seem shocked by that generosity, but Wasp will send them along. And then they'll turn to you for Nighthawk is still kind of in the background, as is the woman from the Rue clan. And Wasp will say, this proves it, right? This proves that someone murdered my parent. murdered Tantai. If they killed someone else, this must be the case, right?
That is not entirely certain. In times of chaos, people will sometimes take advantage of that chaos to settle old scores. A murder is an individual thing, gracious was. It could be that it is the same culprit, but you cannot begin with the assumption that it is.
No, no, you're right. You're right. I could have killed him and then done this
You
to
should
if
not say that very loudly.
I know I meant if it might have been me to have done that to try and convince people that I know I take your point. I understand the logic of what you've said. And they kind of deflate a little bit, like
Could I?
yes.
And I'll kind of look a moment with you, and I'll kind of give Zhenai a look that maybe you've seen before. That I need cover for a minute to with these others observing.
Yep, I can do that. So,
Run interference, Shanai?
yeah, essentially, yeah. I think I will approach the others that are still here, standing there, because I'm going to be the one that will say, yes, something has happened. Could you tell me what you know of the movements of anyone during the so I'm just coming up and keeping them busy with that, if that makes any sense. And I'm
Okay.
very good at that, I think. So
Do you want to make a roll?
sure.
Okay. And then I want to check
So,
up with Song Da, Chao, and then come back to Bao Shi.
okay, let me look real quick here. I am sorry about this. Again, getting
Absolutely.
used to so probably here is the thing. I have acted as an official in the place of my uncle all of these times. I have a very good sense of what all of this sounds like, how you talk protocol, how you walk people along. Um, I want to almost make it with what is the best way of doing this?
Are we doing kind of hearts and minds or
Yes, I
impress?
think that's what it is.
Impress
Yes.
can get you bonds.
Okay, I can do impress. And yeah, I mean, maybe in some ways, almost a little bit. Yeah, let's do that.
Performative officialdom.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and so I will roll with Earth because I am using that Blue Mountain officialdom, if that makes any sense. 2d6, I'm adding 3 to this, for God's sake. Oh God, of course it's horrible. Why? Why does it have to be like that? It does.
What are you adding to it?
3. So that would get me to 5.
I'll give you a 6.
Oh, well, that's great. That gives me an 8. It's sufficient anyway. Thank you. You're very kind.
Yeah, because we didn't use that number from last time. So yeah. So because we didn't use that from last time, we didn't give you an XP for that. Tyler, go ahead and roll your new roll for this time. How generous is that? Look at that.
That is very generous. Thank you.
So with impress there,
I got 6 again.
that's 6 again. With impress, you get to pick twice. One of them would be gain a favor. Essentially, you want to get them to back off, to accept your authority, and then you can create a bond with someone watching if you wish.
Okay, let's look here. I will create a bond with someone here.
Okay.
Because I know that there's just looking at the NPCs. I am so sorry.
No, that's okay.
There's so many tabs of NPCs. If you hit the wrong one, you're
the Legend of
doomed.
Bad Valley NPCs is the
the
one next to other moves there has the
yeah. I think that when I come up, uh, there is that thing is that I do think that it's actually Nighthawk June, because when they're talking to him, I do sort of, I probably mentioned, oh, I have met Songbird June. Yes.
He says, yes, I know that Songbird June has interacted with you and your companions. I have been briefed on the events at the tournament and later.
And she goes, and she turns to
Your name was not mentioned, but your uncle's name.
yes, but and she sort of stops and says, yes, I am probably considered just a friend of Bao Shi's.
Song Da, you're up kind of watching all this happen. You see Bao Shi's kind of taken Wasp off to the side to speak to them. People are moving around. What do you want to do?
I think he is looking up at the sky and how far the sun's gotten, and I have a meeting I need to get to.
Yeah.
So he's going to like quietly back off and blend into the shadows. By which I mean he makes very like conspicuous whooshes from like shadowed alley to shadowed step. He flies unnecessarily. He might be humming that jaunty, exciting action tune out loud, but it's probably still in his head. It's definitely still in his head. He wouldn't be humming it out loud.
So you are not trying to not be seen as you leave the valley.
No. He starts thinking about how he should do that, and then it becomes so performative he forgets that he should actually be hiding.
Okay.
I am
Yeah.
because I have a new move.
Oh,
Oh,
what is that move?
uh, got it. When you become undetectable using shadows and concealment, roll. So I'm going to be following Songda, who thinks he's being sneaky by actually being sneaky.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Yeah, I think this is still
Oh yeah.
13.
We're going to come back to the two of you in a moment. We'll come back
absolutely amazing.
possibly after the break. Uh Bao Shi, you take Wasp aside and you'll look at them and they'll nod. Yes?
I know that you're in a very particular situation here, and there is nothing I wish to ever do that will undermine uh, your standing here. I fear that you are on a nice edge with these other clans. I will make sure to come to you with things discovered so that you are aware of them first, as you are my client.
Yes, that makes sense. Yes, that's the way we do things. Yes.
And I will kind of slide from my sleeve and very, carefully. Have you seen this item before?
They'll look at it and they go, no, is that a geometric compass?
Yes,
It's
quite precious.
they'll look and they say, I know enough to know that this is highly valuable, but I've never seen anything like this before.
So you know of no one who would possess such a thing.
It is possible that one of the clan leaders has this, probably not the Rue clan, but one of the others, the Jun or the Shao, both have more esoteric knowledge and learning. And of course, there's the doctor. He trained in various techniques, but something this rich, this wealthy, I can't imagine.
Nor can I that the doctor would have it. Thank you. I was hoping that maybe it had been seen before, but as for that, I'll have slid it back up my sleeve. For now, it is a first step. We will continue on. And I'm kind of taking a moment to chat and maybe get a little closer. I wouldn't mind doing trying here a tracing shadows
I
on
think
our
that
friend
seems
Lost.
fair.
And I know that I'm not the most personable guy, so I'm probably doing this in a much more calculated fashion. So I
Okay.
think it's probably better. Ooh, thank goodness. That gives me a 10.
It gives you a 10. So on a hit, a reveal an entanglement in a secret, they would prefer remain hidden. I think that one of the things that has been sort of like surprising to you, kind of in Wasp's discussion of their parent and so on, is it becomes clear that they don't know who their other parent is. That they're uncertain about that. Like that's an open question. Maybe a an issue. And in fact, that's probably an entanglement kind of for them. But the other thing is, I think that uh, you can tell that when they're kind of talking about the people around here, that there's definitely someone that they have a romantic crush on, something that they would prefer to be kept hidden. Uh, and there's a moment when they are speaking about the doctor and they mention the doctor and the doctor's uh, assistant, Pearl Mist. And you have this definite sense that whoever they are affectionate towards, whoever they are affectionate for, Pearl Mist is a rival.
Oh, see, now this sparks my second favorite
I
passion.
know.
I love mystery solving, but I also love matchmaking.
Absolutely. Let's take our break. We'll take 10. We'll come back and we'll check in with everybody and see about what we're going to do. Okay. So take 10. We'll be back. So Songda, tell me, what does Crystal Bao Bao see of you approaching? Like, what is their vision of this whole thing?
So she's there first.
Yes, you know her.
Um,
She got there an hour early.
of course she did. Um,
Spotless too. Looks great.
yeah, I think what she sees is just like Songda sort of gophering up and around things. Like will stick his head out from around a box that he's hiding behind, and then suddenly like zip across to the other side of the street, and then will stick his head down from the gutters that he's hanging from, and he almost does fairly well at the move and hide, and then just sticks himself out.
And we'll assume you're at like a small crossroads village outside of Bad Valley that you opted to meet at, and
It's a
Bao
tree,
Bao
it's a rock, that sort of thing.
Bao Bao will see you approach and will say, "That is a very interesting new look that you have settled on."
Ah, thank you, stranger. This may surprise you to know that actually we are not, in fact, strangers. That it's me, Song Da.
Imagine my shock and horror.
You're controlling it so well. That's very good. It's useful for court and things like that.
Sangda, your message indicated and suggested to me that you are mixed up with the matters of Bad Valley.
Yes, in fact, I spent the last day or so here in Bad Valley itself with the families and clans that lead it. There are entire intact clans that are here in the valley running things.
Well, then this is a golden opportunity. You must embed yourself deeper in these matters. You must find out whatever you can. If they are letting you, well, they may not know who you are, right? With this disguise that you have.
Exactly. I knew that it would be improper for an official member of the Bureau of Legends, especially a well-known and important one like me, to be seen publicly in a terrible place like Bad Valley. It would just
Oh, yes. I mean, and
Sister
imagine
Lucian would, Master Lucian would.
of course, you as brave as you are, since that pales next to the thought that they would murder you because you're a historian and could reveal their secrets.
Yes, luckily they'll never do murder.
Oh, absolutely. But that valley is legendary for keeping its secrets.
Is it
We
secrets?
only know the name of its leader, Wheelwright Tantai, through careful investigation. And people lost their lives getting that much information.
That's actually what I needed to talk to you about. In fact, Wheelwright Tentai may be dead.
She draws out her paper pad. It's a mirror image of you. Go on.
You see, we were called here, my good friend and colleague, Detective Bao Shi, first, in a most unpleasant manner, and go through and like tell her about the supposed murder, and then like really gush over the two clans of the family and the stuff that he's managed to figure out. And sort of what I'm pushing for is I if she knows anything, you can find out anything about these families, but particularly Wheelwright Tentai and their background.
Okay.
Because again, everyone's watching me. I am too well known at this point to go looking for these sorts of heretical histories.
Uh, so shall we do this as a study role? You're using her as fictional positioning?
Sure.
Okay.
Huh. I sort of think this might be Earth.
Sure.
The caution and focus is what I'm wondering if he has enough right now, and I'm still afraid she might be trying to manipulate me in some way through this.
Absolutely.
That's an 8.
That is an 8. So you have one study question.
I would like to know about the background of Wheelwright Tentai, and if they're from a family that has traditionally ruled here, like if it's passed down through their family, or if this is just a new thing.
We don't know how the line of succession works for the leadership of Bad Valley, but it doesn't seem to be tied into, we know that there are families. The Jun family, we're pretty certain, is amongst them. And now you've named these other two. But we don't know how that other succession works, whether or not there's a suspicion that the master of Bad Valley trains someone to become the new master of the valley. And they do this passing on secrets. That is one of the things that we believe, is that there is some kind of secret teaching or secrets about the valley itself that give power to the leader. But where Tan Tai came from, we're uncertain.
I have a child here. They're the one that actually called us a gracious wasp. I don't know if Tentai was trying to set things up for them to inherit this position, or whether they're even prepared for that sort of, if there's secret rites and knowledges. I have no idea if they've been passed on.
Certainly, if they're unprepared, this might be opportunity for righteous clans to come and stomp them out.
Well, I mean, is what from us?
Oh, no. Well, it's just if it happens, we want to be on the scene.
Oh, well, yes. Yeah. But we wouldn't like push events like that. We wouldn't send anyone.
No, of course not. That's not the way that the Bureau has operated in the past.
Of course not. We're just
here to observe. But this is a new era.
But is it a whole new era?
Well, I don't know. You're being brave, coming in and revealing secrets that you were told not to tell.
That is, what? No, I don't think they specifically mentioned.
We get a flashback to stay in the valley and keep our secrets, being said by Wasp.
It was all very vague.
Let me pause here just a second. Chao Lin, you have been in a comfortable position, seated close by, watching, overhearing, and observing all of this.
Face palming repeatedly.
Yes. Is there anything you want to do? Were you just waiting for Da to finish up?
I think so.
Okay. So Bao Bao will say, well, I will go back. Do you want me to report to Sister Lushan about this, or should I?
No, I do not.
No. I think that is a wise decision. She would clearly try to stop you, but I think you should only put yourself deeper into the lion's den.
That is wise. This may be the Bureau's only chance to get this sort of knowledge that
Absolutely.
We would then, of course, put into the vaults and not go spreading around. Certainly not while an active investigation is going on.
Oh, absolutely. That makes sense. Your sacrifice will be recorded in the annals.
It's my effort, a heroic effort.
Yes, that's what I said, wasn't it?
It's just, I think, word choice.
Sake. You know.
Just keep everything quiet for now, and find out anything you can about these clans, or especially about Tentai.
Okay, we'll look into it. We'll continue to use the bird channel.
Yes, send me a message as soon as you have something.
Yes, and maybe not this meeting back and forth. Putting, this probably. I mean, hopefully no one saw you leave, right?
Oh, this is a completely clandestine meeting spot, and I took all the back ways to get here.
Oh, good. Because you seemed very obvious when you got to this point, and I assume you were quieter before this.
I didn't want you to be frightened by my sudden appearance.
Absolutely. Combined with you appearing as a stranger, the shock certainly would have upset my delicate constitution.
Yes, my impenetrable disguise.
Yes, that one. I will go now.
Perfect.
And they will, well, grab a horse and ride back. Chao Lin, you see this historian ride off.
Da-da, da-da-da-da-da,
Yeah.
da-da.
I think I'm just like sitting on a tree branch and just casually say, I hope she's better at hiding secrets than you are.
Solid bug fly down my throat. What?
So she is going back carrying information that she is not supposed to have, that she could not possibly have gotten from anyone but us while we're still here.
Oh, yes, but I I
Surrounded
got a
by
promise, an assurance
assassins
from her.
that she won't be robbed on the way back, that no one will ever see
Who
that
even
her
owns
journal.
knowledge, anyways?
Well, right now, I don't think that matters a whole lot.
She Crystal understands the seriousness of this situation.
I don't think you do. I think she does. I think you're right about that. I hope, but just
I
saying
don't
you were
know.
very obvious.
But I was trying not to. Look, I'm just saying. I've we've all heard many stories about the horrors of Bad Valley and how insane and monstrous and violent and cannibalistic everyone inside is it. And we get here and well, they're fairly civilized. These are were respectable clans at one point,
Yes.
and they've
Uh, yes.
maintained a semblance of not honor but purpose.
Do you think maybe they haven't corrected that for a reason?
Well, but they all seemed so polite.
To each other and to people they have kidnapped and brought into the valley. Yes. If everyone is afraid of them, if everyone is afraid to come here, they can be polite.
And so you're saying if people knew more and the truth and weren't afraid on like a wider
Yeah,
scale
then they might
basis.
have to become the thing that everyone thinks they are.
I really considered, huh?
I'm just saying reputation is important.
He looks over in the direction that Crystal Bao Bao left.
And I think we'll cut there. Zhenai, let's come back to the valley.
Awesome.
The body has been put into place. They've been working on this, and you have the opportunity to go and look around, meet people, talk to people. You will notice that Song and Da and Chao are gone.
Well, hopefully Chao Lin is with Song Da. So I'm sure that they have some purpose to the thing, whatever it is they're doing. I wish they would say something to Bao Shi, though. So this is interesting. The group of people around here, of the folks, who stays around the longest to watch what's going on?
I think it is Nighthawk that stays around the longest. Eventually, you will see this young man with a kind of a scholar's official's robes come over to speak to him, and they have some discussion, and you have the sense that this is another person from the June family, but maybe a person who is not as well respected there. And that is, in fact, Laughter and Flame Priest there.
Oh,
And
huh.
And
I get the not as respected because of Nighthawk
his
June's
manner
reaction.
towards him, yeah.
Okay.
And that's probably about that time that Nighthawk has some words with the priest, and then heads back, and it's probably just you and some villagers and this Laughter and Flame priest.
All right. Well, I sort of I will introduce myself, and I will say, hello.
Milady,
And she says,
who is this beautiful vision that I see before me here in the valley? We have not been graced by such a beauty as this. I cannot even say in my lifetime that one so graceful, so beautiful, so well presented as you. May I, such a person as I, who's not worthy, may I ask your name?
she sort of looks at him and she goes, I have seen it already. So I've seen only a few people. I have seen a full handful of lovely women far more attractive than myself.
Ah, that you do not know of what you speak.
She goes,
But
oh. And she stops and she goes, oh, but I do.
that you are going to tease me? You will not tell me your name?
She says, I am Lost Song Zhenai. And she says,
See him kind of do, you see his eyes go up like, does that name sound familiar, kind of thing.
And she sort of says, my great uncle is Blue Mountain Scholar.
Oh, suddenly his manner changes. You see his hands fold up there, and he goes, is there some way may I be of assistance to you, ma'am?
Oh, I don't think that I've caught your name.
Ah, you will know me by the name Laughter and Flame Priest. I am a member of the June family.
Mm-hmm. She goes, well met. And she says, as I understand it, there's someone here who arrived with Ji Mingling, a child at the time. Do you?
Oh, yes, that young man. Their name is young man, young woman. They change their. They keep deciding, just choosing whether they will be a man or woman. It changes. So I'm not sure what they have decided they are today. But their name is Zong Tai.
Zong Tai? Do you know where I might be able to find Zong Tai?
I suspect it is during the day. They are probably hanging about at the doctor's offices now.
And she sort of stops and says, okay, that makes sense. It
Do
seems
you
like
know where that do you know where that is?
I do know where it is, don't I?
Ah, yes, you do.
She stops. She goes, I do know where it is. It is very kind of you to offer to accompany.
I am the soul of kindness.
That is good to know.
Well,
And she sort of nods and she goes, oh.
I will be seeing you then. He backs away from you, never taking his eyes off of you, very carefully.
All right. Huh. And I will go to the doctor's office.
Okay. Uh, Let me come back to you
Yeah,
and go
that's fine.
to Bao. Bao, the crowds have dispersed. The body has been taken away by a couple of wasps, people to be laid in a room, essentially an examination room, a cold chamber. They have some underground uh, chambers here that can be kept cool. They're cooled by ice and the flow of the water. They will place that there. And looks like Chao Lin and Song Da have gone off, and you will have seen Zhenai speaking with uh, uh, another member of the Jun family. What is it that you want to do?
Um, I suppose I always feel like I do the most boring things, but probably go and examine the body
Okay.
is the thing to do.
Then I think you'll follow behind the people, and they will take it and go, crosses the bridge over to the island, and take you down into a set of children's, very well made. Like this ice room, this cold room is very well made here. You're a little struck by it. You saw before that there's clearly some older ruins and things here,
Mhm.
and you suspect this may be original to the place. Um,
Very
and there are some
sophisticated.
slabs that are set out, for bodies and things. There are a lot of slabs in here. Like they could put a lot of corpses in here. You can fit a lot of corpses in this baby. And you will see the doctor is there, and he will greet you. Ah, Master Bao Shi, we met last
Ah,
night.
yes, it's very nice to see you again. I presume you have heard of the catastrophe that has occurred.
I have. The body is even more worse than I thought. Um, it will take me some time to remove the worst of this birch bark from the body.
I imagine some sort of solvent will be required.
Mm, I I worry about that distorting the body, the skin, but there may be no solution for it besides that. And so I will do an examination, uh, and
Would
then
you
I will.
mind terribly if I um, assist you in this examination?
No, your repute comes before you. So I would very much appreciate your assistance in this. Uh, may I ask a question before we go on too much further?
Oh, absolutely.
How did Chao Lin come to be in your company?
Hmm. Well, uh, Lynn was it? I believe, if I remember correctly, you Iron Lotus, right?
He's a friend of Black or Blue Mountain Scholar.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
perfect Blue Mountain Scholar. Okay, all right. My dear friend Lost Song Zhenai is the niece of Blue Mountain Scholar, and Lynn was an old friend of Blue Mountain Scholar, and well, familiarity. We ended up traveling a bit together, and well, I'll say Chao Lin has proven to be exceptionally useful in mysteries, and I had offered an opportunity to work with us, and uh, I suppose.
It is good. Uh, I knew Chao Lin on the road, encountered him several times, and he was a person who arrived to help others repeatedly, but received less than his due of thanks for it and was often taken advantage of. So to see that he has fallen in with good people, that pleases me. I was shocked and nervous when I first saw him last night and afraid that he had fallen in with a bad crowd, but to have seen that he is here for this purpose, it did my heart some relief.
There had been a terrible rumor that had circulated about Chao Lin, and through a bit of investigation, I was able to prove that it was utterly false
Oh,
and clear his name. And since then, we have been boon companions.
excellent, excellent. Well, please join me and we will look over the body. So Bao Shi, let's have you roll study. I think we'll give you a +1
Hmm,
for having a doctor expert assistant here, let's say.
okay. I think it's battle. I know I keep using my best one, but I do think that's what it is.
Okay. So still max is +3.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think it's that one. Um, that's 10.
That is a 10. So you have 2 hold.
All right. Well, as always, let's go with a clue.
Okay. We'll see him kind of checking the body and so on, and checking the arms, and I think both of you like check the hands, you check the arms, just kind of checking the eyes and kind of going back a couple of times. And I think that you will both kind of recognize and kind of come to the same conclusion. And he will say, I knew that the black magic blades worked with substances to distort people's perceptions and minds, but I had no idea that had taken this toll on him. These are the marks I think you would concur of an addict. See the discoloration on the fingers, the injection points here. He was always high strung in these last few years, but I suspect now that this abuse of a substance may have been the cause of that.
It's very clear.
That's mm, uh, that makes me nervous. He hid that very well. Besides his temper, and he certainly made that a part of his personality.
And one who indulges in such things learns ways to keep it from others that would stop them from their chosen uh,
I don't know enough
addiction.
about. Sorry, I apologize. Go on.
No, no, no. Continue, please.
I don't know enough about the magic blades. They keep their processes and things secret. I wonder how much of this is what they use, or perhaps I can't tell. There may be other substances, narcotics here as well. I can't tell without full, longer autopsy, and I do not think the family would wish me to do that.
No, and in your opinion, it probably does not bear on the circumstances that led to his death, unless
No, it doesn't save this. This is the leader of a clan, a warrior of some repute. But this would suggest to me that his abilities, his skills, his talents, his awareness would have been seriously diminished. And if someone knew that, they could certainly take advantage of that.
Looking at his eyes, in your opinion, was he dead when he went into the vat?
And you will see him take a silver tool, and he'll open up the mouth, and he will reach down into there, and he will draw it back, and there's black on the tip, and he will say, "No, there is tar in the windpipe."
Tar death.
He must have been struck with the blade, as you told me, and then pushed in the weakened state.
Can I rely on your discretion?
Absolutely, Master Bao Shi. Though you do not know me, and this is Bad Valley. I put that as a caveat here.
It's true, but you have already helped us in a way that puts you in danger. That goes a long way towards reassuring me. I've heard that you had studied certain, or rather deep sciences, and I'll slide out the compass. Would you know anyone who would have this fine instrument?
He actually has you set it down before he, moves and gets a little silver stick to kind of move it, and he will say, "No, but this is old. This is very old. In the Ling dynasty, there was a revocation of the process and markings for the geomantic compasses, a reorganization. That's a couple of centuries ago. This uses the old notation from before that dynasty that indicates that this is significantly older, but it's in beautiful condition."
Yes. Thank you for your expertise.
Oh, I appreciate it. May I ask where you got this?
It was found near the site of the murder.
That is a mystery.
Yes, yes, it is.
Song Da, Chao Lin, are you a little more subtle coming back into Bad Valley?
I think if Chao Lin takes the lead, we are.
Actually, I think I want to disappear again and follow and see if it. I want to know if anyone else has noticed him leaving and followed him, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
He's basically he like gets distracted retying on his mask and then getting the eye patch back in place and then making sure the scar's not sliding off.
So Song Da can know what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
he just
hiding
looked
from
up and
Song
you were
Da.
gone.
Let's have you make a roll, Chao Lin.
So should I be intentionally obvious this time going through the town?
just go back the same way you came out here. I think.
Okay.
I just wanna see if anyone is following you. That's all.
I will be casual and nonchalant.
Yep. What am I using? I think I'm still using water. It's a 6, even with the +2.
Would you like to burn a bond?
Um, do I have any bonds?
You do have one.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and burn that bond.
Okay. I think that you will see as you move back, as Song Da heads back. And again, you're maybe 30-40 minute walk outside. You've had to leave the town, have to leave the valley, walk this pathway back to this kind of crossroads village, and now you make your way back, and you will note and spot a figure that has clearly been shadowing and watching Song Da and observing all of this. And you will see this young woman with a half mask on, who has been following. It's kind of a bone, made of bone there.
Okay.
And I do think that the terrain around here is a little slippery. And I think that you do, as you spot her and are kind of watching her, kind of following, pacing, she's watching Song Da, have a sense of just observing, and like you'll slip and some rocks will go tumbling down, and you will see her kind of like stop and realize that there's someone else here. And she will decide on discretion, and she fades back, and clearly lightness is back towards the valley. But you're pretty
Okay.
sure that Storm Crane Jun was
Awesome.
watching Song Da. This is one of the two women who were sent off by their father early
Cool.
on.
Yep.
So yeah, the two of you will get back to the valley.
So see, that proves it. No one was following me.
You were being followed by at least one person.
Well, you, but I knew.
No. At least 2 people.
What?
Yeah, a woman with a mask.
So not the cat. I was obviously. Um,
A bone mask.
what?
There's a woman with a bone mask following you.
Did she look angry?
Uh, Not necessarily. I didn't get very close to her. Just might be a concern.
I think Song Da now looks very worriedly back and forth and into the shadows around the street, and in his vision, like suddenly everything is sort of looming over and shadows spread across the street, and there's a menacing bird cry that echoes through.
Ah, detectives. You will see Gang there. He's talking with a couple of people, and you'll see him lumber over to where you are. Ah, detectives. It is nearly lunchtime, and no one has come to question me about my role in all of this. I am disappointed and offended. You two, come, follow me.
Nope. Yes, we will interrogate you seriously and
Absolutely,
thoroughly.
You are yes. It kind of turns to you, Chao. You bring your henchmen and we'll go. And he will take you back across clearly to the Rue household, and immediately he comes in, guests, guests, and sits himself down and points to seats for you to sit. You will eat with me.
Songda goes to sit down, and the point of his sword stops him from sitting down. And he stands up and he reaches for his sword, but over the wrong shoulder, and then finally gets it a little stuck on his mask there. Before he gets it, sets him on the table, by the table, sideways down on the table, under his chair. No, standing up.
Master Chao Lin, was it?
Yes, yes. And nameless muscles.
Yes, you need to hire a better class of thug.
He's
He
still
knocks
learning.
over his sword.
I'm sorry. He is Bao Shi's brother's son.
Ah, Nepo swordsman, I understand.
um so interrogation. Yes.
Yes. Ah, yes. So
Did you know the
the death.
deceased?
Let me just say this before we go too much further. Uh, Chao Wuji, he's dead. That only proves that Wheelwright Tantai is alive.
And how exactly?
It's clearly Wheelwright Tantai killed him.
Was he known? Were they known for killing people with tar?
No, no, it's just that it is the kind of misdirection and sleight of hand that they would practice. Just
Did they have a
yes,
grudge against Chawuji?
they are the leader of the valley. They were angry with all of the families before they left on their last journey. I think it is only a matter of time. If we White Wantantai is hiding in the hills, waiting to come down and pick us off one by one. That's what I believe.
Why were what happened before they left?
What do you mean?
Why were they angry with all three families?
I cannot speak to why they were upset with the Shao family, except perhaps that Shao had become increasingly unhinged in recent years, erratic, and his son does not wish to take over the clan, and Wheelwright certainly told him to put his house in order. And then, of course, it was just minor things. There were some disagreements with our family about particular business, but that's unimportant. But of course, the June family, they've tried to get back in the good graces, having turned away from Bad Valley and allied themselves with a Wulin clan to be their assassins and dogs. And then that fell apart, and they've come back, tail between their legs, admitting their fault. And then,
So this wasn't Wheelwright, it was the Junes?
wait, what do you mean? Wait, what?
You just talked about how suspicious they were.
Oh, yeah, talk about the June family. I'm talking about what they did.
Yes.
That was what made Wheelwright angry. But the final straw, June, he was willing to allow the June family to remain here in Bad Valley and continue on and turn back to the path that they should have been following, but then they allowed someone to come in and steal some of the secrets of their poisons. And Wheelwright essentially told the Junes that they had to turn over the person who did this, or he would have all of them put to death. And to go meta for a moment, that evil priest that you guys dealt with last time, he was the one who stole the poisons from the valley. So someone here gave him that knowledge. Yeah.
So if everyone was so upset with the Junes and Wheelwright was so upset with the Junes, why did he start by murdering Wuji?
Who can know the mind of a madman?
Genius madman.
Genius madman. Yes, there's
Plotter,
that. Yes.
mastermind, erratic, insane person.
I think you have the nub of it. Lunch. And a big feast is brought out to all of you, put out in front of you, and you will start eating, and then you will hear, "What is this?" And you will look up, and you will see Ru Huang, his wife. You have guests here, honored guests, detectives here, and you started lunch without me. And you see her come over to him, and she leans in close to his face, and she says, "You are a fat fool. You are a terrible person. You are unworthy of the name of the Ru clan. It is no wonder that your son ran away. You embarrass us all in front of these people."
Oh, and both of Sogda's arms are under the table, and there's the sound of brush on paper.
And she goes, "I am sorry that you had to put up with this idiot." And she sits herself down. And then they continue on eating.
Okay.
Do you wish to make a study roll here, Chao Lin?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I help?
Sure. Well, let's have you make
comfort and support.
yeah, you can make a comfort and support roll. Let's have you do that.
Okay.
All right. That
Kind of teamwork here.
let's go with awareness and wisdom. I can be a little good at things for a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Why not? That's a 12.
Yeah. So
Nice.
you may each take a bond with the other if you want.
Nice.
And then Chao Lin.
Okay. This is metal. Sherry, it's contagious apparently.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and mark metal?
Okay.
I think as you're watching this, as you have this sudden realization, and I think that's what kind of throws you off here is, ooh, he is into that. Like clearly he is really into being yelled at by her. Like you see his
Right.
cheeks kind of go red, little bead of sweat. You see him pat his forehead. He is absolutely into it. And I think that it like you find yourself unable to say anything at that point.
Yeah, I go from like surprised and kind of like, okay, that's cool to, oh wait, now this is really uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think Songda, you'll kind of pick up on that there in that moment as well. Absolute silence falls over the table. Lost Song Zhenai, you will find yourself at the doctor's office. You will see that that gentleman who got conked on the head is still there. There's probably another couple of patients. You will see that Pearl Mist is there and is treating the patients with, let us say, her bedside manner leaves something to be desired. But she is helping them. You do notice a couple of times, like wandering hands get needles in them. If they
Really?
kind of,
Well, that makes sense. So
yeah.
that's I'm gonna
And you will see this young person seated there. They are close by that cauldron
mhm.
where Ji Minglang is, and seems to be chatting with Ji. And uh, you kind of know the age of Zong Tai. You know he's teens, uh, uh,
But
but
like early
fif
teens, right?
like 15 maybe kind of thing.
Maybe, yeah, they said
Uh
how old is he now? Has it been 11 years, something like that? So,
yeah, like he's probably early teens.
uh-huh.
And I say he, it's at his pronoun
It's
is any. It should
any,
be
yeah.
rather than just they them. You can tell that he's clearly figuring that out.
Uh-huh.
And like when you come in, they'll look up and they'll be like, oh. And Mingling will say, "This is one of the detectives." And they'll come over with, "Oh, you are a detective?
Yes. And she goes, well,
What exactly does that mean?"
kind of says, well, um, it means that you have to learn a lot of lore about how people do terrible things to other people.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes.
Tell me
Yes.
more.
And I think I think that she's exactly the person for that in the sense that she pulls out, like, essentially a handbook. She goes, well, here, let's look at these. And she will go through, like, essentially the idea about how an investigation is done. But she stops and asks, like, does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
And she will tell stories, like three good pithy stories about, like, an interesting thing that happened when Bao Shi was investigating.
Ooh.
Never speak. Bao Shi
So,
is here, so
oh,
he is very well known as a
oh,
detective.
okay. What is it you want to get from him? What is it you want to know?
What I want to know is he's at that age where he sees a lot of stuff that other people don't, and they don't pay as much attention. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
He is a he is here because he's an uncomfortable fact for Mingling, I assume, and because he can't go away. So I'm guessing that he gets overlooked. Um, and that's probably what I am doing, is checking if that's part of it. And then to go. So does that make any sense? I'm trying to,
Yeah.
like, go, yeah, is this really it? And if it is, to kind of give him that opportunity to come to speak to me if he has seen or knows anything.
Do you want
So
to do that as
create
hearts and
a
minds, or do you want to do
mind.
that as
Yeah, I
study?
think so. Yeah, probably hearts and minds
Okay,
is
let's do
kind of
that.
it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I would like to roll well. So yeah. Um, okay, so I guess that if I want to roll well, I probably have to add everything I have into it. So I will use Earth, which is focus and presence. I think that is it.
Absolutely.
Um, and yeah, and she's a poet. She knows how stories are told. So okay, so roll with 3. Woohoo, I got an 11. Miraculous.
So let's give you a bond with him, with
Okay.
them. And I think you do like they are fascinated by this. They're
Mhm.
very excited. They clearly strong affection for their adoptive father, but also strong affection for everyone else here. Like they clearly are see everything as wonders and everyone here.
Okay.
Like you'll see a guy who it actually looks like a horrible, scarred-faced, eye-patched villain, as
Mhm.
opposed to Song's attempt to appear that way. And they come in growling, and then they see Zong, and they're like, Zong, are you keeping up your training? And they go and they go, come and show me your stance. Yes, no, higher, higher. Yes. And then we'll like, I just happen to have a candy here. And like gives a kid candy and
Awesome.
then heads off.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Master Death Skull.
That's cool. I love that. So, yeah, and I think that's it. Is that she kind of says, "Well, yeah." I
If
think
you
she's
need
like, if
anything,
you,
just come
yeah.
and talk to me. I'll help you.
Oh, oh, well, thank you. She goes,
Because I could be a big help. And you see him kind of look over to kind of like make it clear to Pearl Mist that he's an adult and he's helping out other adults and she should be impressed kind of thing.
oh, so he's kind of like Pearl Mist.
Yep.
Like everyone thinks that she's a hottie, huh? Okay. Yeah. I will give him that gratification. I say, well, if you would like, I could introduce you to Bao Shi.
Oh, I would love to meet Master Bao
Oh,
Shi.
well, why don't we go see him?
Oh, please.
All right. And yeah, and
Okay.
she'll nod and like sort of bow like she would to someone's parents towards Ziming Lang, if that makes any sense.
He will nod. You see him. He definitely watches all of this with a little degree of concern. Like he's clearly worried about Zong, like that kind of parental worry.
Mhm. um and I think when they step out, she goes, has he been infected with like a cold poison?
It is I do not know the exact nature. It is a multifaceted poison that even Dr. Nyan has not been able to completely clear his body from. Uh, Sometimes he is better and he can walk around, uh, but it cannot be for too long before he becomes ill again.
My great uncle has a significant library of different poisons and their treatments. I am not saying that it is all of the things, but it is another place that perhaps the doctor could
Oh, you
check
should
on.
tell him that, though he's not allowed to leave.
Hmm. It always makes everything calm, doesn't it?
Bao Shi, what is it you want to do here?
I think I'm going to collect First Orchid and um the two of us are going to go and visit, is it Shao clan? That,
Yeah,
and visit the Shao clan.
okay. Uh, you will go to, their estate there on the island, and you will see that they have already put out the colors and cloths and stuff for mourning. And you will be greeted at the door by Blossom Devouring Guardian.
Oh,
And she will say, you are Master Bao Shi.
yes. I believe you are uh, Blossom Devouring Guardian.
I am. My husband is Chao Daku. Please come in. This is a different assistant.
Ah, my apprentice.
Your apprentice. Uh, a different one than the warrior that you had with you earlier?
Oh, nameless muscles, you mean?
Yes, yes.
Uh, you- Purely someone to protect. Well, I generally protect me on the road, though.
I see. I would have
I
thought
made my
that that handsome gentleman, Chao Lin, might be your protection.
chows, of course, his own man, whereas Nameless Muscles is a hireling.
Ah,
Clearly not a very good one, since I was not protected on the road here, now was I?
fair enough. Fair enough. Uh, to what do I and my family owe this honor?
I do apologize for coming at this time of morning, but with the death of your patriarch, I wish to give my condolences and speak with your husband, yourself, your husband's sister, I believe,
Yes, yes. Come inside.
and offer, explain that I will try to find whoever committed this foul deed on the head of your clan.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that would be a good idea. Yes, yes. And you will see, you kind of brings you in. Uh, you will see Xiao Dagu has wine out and has clearly already been drinking quite a bit.
Oh, good.
And you see uh, Xiao Fuya, the sister, seated there, kind of watching all this with a certain amount of care.
I will come in and bow. My condolences at your loss.
Xiao Dagu just kind of looks at you and then pulls out another like vessel of wine and pours himself some more. And his sister will look at you and will say, my brother has complicated feelings about the situation.
Family can be very difficult. I wanted to come and say that I intend to find who committed this act. I would hope that would bring some comfort in your time of sadness.
I hope it will, but unfortunately, there is some suggestion that, well, someone has been murdered, perhaps two someones, and it does suggest that there is a killer with an agenda present. Does it not, Master Bao Shi?
It does. It does indeed. I was wanting to ask who would have such designs on the death of your father?
That is a difficult question to answer, Master Bao Shi. Problem being that neither I nor my brother wish to be in charge.
And
It
thou,
creates a problem.
yes, yes. Sometimes greatness is thrust upon us. One of you will, I presume, take that role.
And I think it gets quiet, and you will see her brother put down her wine, and you see them staring at each other. And I think there's a moment there where you're like, oh, I think they might have a fight to kill one another so that they don't take over.
I don't like that. Um, in a time of such high emotion, it is best to take comfort from your family. The two of you, while you do not wish to take on this role, you can be supportive of each other.
Hearts and minds. To keep them from murdering other people or each other in this moment, in this interaction. What do you want to roll that with?
All right, I think this is probably going to be wood. This is kind
Okay.
of a patience and building something here.
That seems fair.
Okay. Roll well. That's 10.
Oh yeah. I think that you will definitely kind of get them calmed down there. And I think that Bao Shi, they do kind of like they focus on some other things. They kind of that cools down, and you will see a servant come and sets down the tea next to you, and you kind of out of the corner of your eye, you will look up, and they let their disguise slip just a bit, and you will see Songbird Jun kind of lean in and give you a wink before they fall back into their role. And that is where we're going to take up next time. Does that sound okay?
Mhm.
Let's look at characters here. Zhenai, so we got Bao Shi, we got Saw the Songbird Young, we got the I don't think we got the other one, so I'm going to give you 2 points. Does that seem fair? Uh, Song Da, we definitely got some interactions there. I think 2 points on that.
And Lowell, I guess I didn't use my thing, so you have a soft move for next time, and I'll
Yeah.
take that XP. And
Okay.
that'll level me.
Nice. Don't forget that resetting your shadows and
Which
your
is what I'm
stats.
going to
Okay.
do.
All right. Uh Janai, I think we probably got just one of those, so let's give you 2 points. And I think we kind of hit on the scholar history thing there, Chao. So I'll give you 2 points for that. Does that sound okay? Seem reasonable, everybody? Okay. Then that is where we're going to take up next week.
Nice.
Anything anybody want to throw out wishes wise or stars wise that we want to kind of in our planning for going forward? I've put some NPCs on the table. We've got some other things out there. Bao Shi.
For stars, I think that Chao Lin following Song Songda was delightful. And I think Shao kind of telling Song, you're you're putting yourself in horrible danger. What the fuck are you thinking? Moment was important. It was so well done. Ethan, that was a great moment. And of course, Patrick, your realizations both when talking with Bao Bao of the murder. And then of course when Chao Lin comes in with an even deeper sort of hey, that was really well done too. So I enjoyed that. And I always love the dance of Janai and I, how well we work together, how clear, we're just it feels like old friends capable of doing practically anything when our minds are in concert. And I also really enjoyed the conversation with the little kid. I thought that was sweet.
Nice.
For wishes, I'd love to hear a little more about and there is a little bit of, I think it could play into mystery as well, but about the history of Bad Valley, the ancient bit to it, I think is very interesting.
Okay. Song Da?
I agree. I was gonna say, Ethan, Chao Lin following after and watching over, and then just sort of like boxing Song Da around the ears. Was just it was wonderful. It was a cool new move and a great time to pull it out. I love being able to contrast against Chao Lin there. Um, and also Lowell, the very George and Martha uncomfortable dinner. Which just that was really fun. Wishes, I obviously want to follow up with more dangerous nonsense with Crystal Bao Bao next time.
Okay.
I'd also like to have a conversation with Gracious Wasp. I
Okay.
would like to try and talk to them about, their family.
Absolutely. Convo. And Chao Lin.
Yeah, stars to everyone for being 100% on their bullshit today. Zhenai, like, making friends, and talking up Bao Shi all the time, Bao Shi being Bao Shi, and Song Da being extremely Song Da. I really liked all the interactions with NPCs. These are cool NPCs, and I'm glad to get to see them on screen. And yeah, wishes for myself is to actually finish writing these entanglements. I sort of know what they are, but not really. And I don't think I have anything specific.
Okay. That seems fair. Zhenai. You're muted.
Dang it. Yes, now you can hear me, right? Okay, so as Chao said, the NPCs are really good. I both like them and fear them. They are simultaneously dangerous and complicated and people. Good, bad people. It was fun, as Chao said also, all of us on our bullshit. I think that was exactly where we were. There's a lot of characters. I want to be around I want to see all the things. I want to be all the places. So I'm glad that we split up as much as we did, because I got to see more things than I would have otherwise. So it was lovely. And what everyone else said, you all were right. We're amazing. We're all amazing. And I think wishes, I really would like, and it sounds dumb, like a bath scene with like Gracious Wasp.
Okay.
In that sense of, like having a talk with her. I would love that for.
We have the hot springs.
So. Yeah, the hot springs. So just for that, and because they're in that sort of position where they're stuck having to try to fill in for someone, which is something that Zhenai just got done doing for a long time.
Oh, nice.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my hope is next time we'll get some of the people. We'll probably do some more of the split, and then bringing the group together, and then maybe splitting again. Give other people a chance to get some clues, to kind of fill that out. I did add 2 more facets to the mystery. One of them being the murder of Chao Wuji, and the other being Secrets of Bad Valley. Like
There are some apparently. Who would have thought there were secrets of
with a name like Bad Valley, who would have imagined that there'd be strange, complicated things? So that's sort of my goal for next time. I'm going to stop the recording.